Welcome to Survivor Scale. I'm H2 Mass, and today I'm ranking every main character in Aliens, where a squad of soldiers battles a never-ending horde of ravenous, acid-laced aliens. We start the film with Ripley deciding to sleep in after the exhausting events of the first film.
Shut up!
Unwilling to let her take the day off though, a salvage team finds her escape shuttle and brings her to a medical station where they force her to wake up. An asshole named Carter Burke then walks in and tells Ripley that something went wrong with her shuttle, causing her to drift through space for 57 years before they found her. Damn, hope she didn't have any kids. We then discover that Ripley had had a daughter before embarking on the trip in the first film, but when she asks Carter for more information about her, he sleazily tries to ignore her so he can use her in an upcoming hearing for the company about what happened to the Nostromo decades earlier. Ripley though shows some assertiveness and presses Carter into telling her about her daughter, only to find out that she died 2 years ago at the age of 66.
Promised her that I'd be home for her birthday.
Well, don't make promises you can't keep. At the hearing, Ripley tells the board that she detonated the Nostromo, but instead of accepting her explanation for why she did it, these old fools criticize her for destroying their beloved starship over half a century ago. That's like getting mad at someone for destroying a building from 1967. Man, get over it. Noticing the board's lack of seriousness, Ripley raises her assertiveness and tries to warn them of the potential dangers on LV-426, telling them about facehuggers and xenomorphs with acid for blood. The board though would love to drop some acid and simply revokes her pilot license before telling her that a colony of terraformers have been living on LV-426 for some time now without any reports of extraterrestrial life. But as soon as the man finishes talking, a family finally discovers the derelict ship still sitting on the planet and falls victim to a facehugger. After losing contact with the colony, Burke asks Ripley to join him and a group of Marines to find out if anything sinister has happened. Ripley though demonstrates some self-preservation as she declines Burke's request, only to completely reverse her progress when she changes her mind and agrees to travel to LV-426. Hurting her performance even further, she also reveals some naivete by asking Burke if they plan to destroy the aliens rather than study them, foolishly believing him when he says yes. Don't worry, she'll figure it out. A bit later, Ripley and a crew of Space Marines arrive on the planet, only to find nobody there. Eventually though, they follow an approaching signal on their radar, but when they finally reach it, they only see a child, who bites one of the soldiers and then runs away when they get close. Unwilling to lose the chance at a new daughter, Ripley captures the child and displays some resourcefulness by learning her name from a picture of her on the ground. Rebecca.
My name's Newt. Nobody calls me Rebecca except my brother.
Alright then. Newt it is. After locating a much larger collection of signatures, the soldiers head inside the processing station while Ripley, Newt, and Burke stay back. Deciding to do someone else's job, Ripley shows some awareness and realizes the potential dangers of soldiers firing explosive rounds near a fusion reactor's cooling system, telling Lieutenant Gorman, the man currently in charge, that it could cause the whole area to explode.
So what?
What do you mean, so what? You ever heard of a nuke?
Oh, great. Wonderful.
Yeah. After Gorman finally realizes the gravity of the situation, he tells the soldiers to take out their magazines and that they can only use flame units. The soldiers then encounter one of the colonists strung up on the wall, but as soon as they start talking to her, she begins convulsing and an alien bursts through her chest, so they light her and the alien on fire with a flamethrower. This, however, causes all of the nearby xenomorphs to detach themselves from the walls and surround the soldiers, who show poor composure and end up accidentally killing their own teammates. As the aliens begin to overwhelm the soldiers in the processing station, Gorman shows poor composure as well and freezes up. But Ripley demonstrates the opposite and takes action to help the soldiers, ramming a vehicle through the alien stronghold and giving the soldiers a chance to escape. After gathering the only survivors, Ripley begins driving away, but a xenomorph breaks through the window, so Ripley hits the brakes and launches the alien forward before running it over and then resuming her escape. Nice. When they make it to temporary safety, the group realizes that some of the soldiers they lost in the battle may still be alive, but Ripley shows some self-preservation and ruthlessness by declaring their case a lost cause and deciding not to go back for them. Now demonstrating some conviction, Ripley then suggests that they nuke the entire area to guarantee that all of the aliens die. Yes! However, damn it! Burke's greedy ass opposes Ripley's line of thinking because of the financial issues it would raise, so Ripley employs her knowledge of the line of command and tells Corporal Hicks that only he, not Burke, has the authority to make such a decision, leading to Hicks following along with Ripley's plan to blow up the site. Unfortunately though, an alien sneaks aboard the ship they intend to escape with, causing the pilot to crash and forcing the group to develop another plan. Overwhelmed by the increasingly dire situation, Private Hudson shows his poor composure and begins freaking out, but Ripley demonstrates some strong leadership skills skills and manages to not only calm him down, but also turn him into a helpful soldier when she convinces him to gather information they can use to strategize against the aliens. Nice. After setting up some sentries to protect the various entry points around them, an android named Bishop helps Ripley realize that Burke plans to smuggle some facehugger specimens back to Earth. When Ripley confronts Burke about it though, she makes it a bit too clear how much she opposes him, giving him a reason to target her.
You're not gonna sleaze your way out of this one.
Yeah, if you're gonna back someone into a corner, you have to be prepared for the possibility that they're gonna fight back. I mean, what else are they gonna do? As they prepare another plan to deal with the aliens, Bishop tells them that the recent damage to the reactor will cause it to explode soon, forcing them to find a way out of the area within the next 4 hours. Unable to leave, but now urging to display her motherliness, Ripley cuddles up with Newt, who's hidden herself under a bed like a scared little kid. Well, I mean, never mind. After getting a few moments of rest, Ripley wakes up and shows some observational skill when she notices a container on the ground that no longer houses the facehugger that had previously been floating inside of it. She then calmly wakes up Newt and cautiously scans the room for the facehugger before displaying her reflexes when she quickly ducks as it jumps towards her. Now attempting to escape, she flips the bed over the facehugger and then runs to the door, only to find it locked, and when she waves at the camera inside the room to get Hicks's attention, Burke's dastardly ass turns off the camera and doesn't say a word to anyone. Ooh, he's an asshole. Showing some ingenuity, Ripley makes use of a lighter to set off the fire alarm in the room, finally alerting Hicks of their location. Unfortunately though, the facehugger jumps out at Ripley, but her reflexes again save her as she plays the role of a condom and manages to keep it from impregnating her. Hicks then makes a dramatic entrance before helping Ripley remove the facehugger and kill it. Spectacular! Ripley then exposes Burke's treachery, revealing her deduction as she explains his plan to bring the alien back to Earth by impregnating Ripley and freezing her to bypass quarantine, but also sabotaging the other soldiers' sleeping pods so they couldn't tell anyone about Burke's villainy or the alien inside Ripley. You slippery bastard. As Hicks vindictively prepares to kill Burke, the power suddenly shuts off. Hudson then checks the radar and realizes that the aliens have started approaching them again, but instead of getting stopped by the barricades the group had set up, the aliens climb above the ceiling and infiltrate the room. As the fight against the horde of xenomorphs begins, Burke's dumbass runs into medical and locks the others out, leaving himself alone and without protection. What are you doing? You have no weapons, no fighting experience, no plan, and are surrounded by countless bloodthirsty aliens. So why would you separate yourself from the only people who might be able to keep you alive? Even if they clearly hate you at this point. You've only got one option. The group then uses a blowtorch to break through the door, but Burke doubles down on his stupidity and retreats even further, only to finally get his comeuppance and end up face to face with a xenomorph that kills him, his sleaziness creating enemies that would leave him vulnerable in cooperative horror scenarios like those in zombie movies. Additionally, his inexperience and lack of composure in combat situations make him an unlikely survivor in chaotic environments, leaving the reprehensible representative with an erection for riches in D tier. With seemingly nowhere else to go, Newt uses her experience evading the aliens for the past few weeks and guides the group through the ventilation system to reach the landing field for their eventual escape. Unfortunately though, the xenomorphs quickly follow after them, leading to the deaths of Gorman and Vasquez. As Ripley, Hicks, and Newt continue moving forward, Newt falls onto a lower level and a xenomorph captures her before Ripley can reach her. No! No! Ripley and Hicks then take an elevator outside, but before the door closes, a xenomorph gets in, so Hicks shoots it, but its blood spills onto him and leaves him barely able to move. Stumbling towards the vehicle, Ripley and Hicks meet back up with Bishop, but instead of flying away now, Ripley shows some motherly instincts and commands Bishop to wait as she goes back to save Newt. You didn't go back for those soldiers earlier though, did you? I see how it is. Displaying some preparation, Ripley grabs an assortment of ammunition and then heads into an elevator to begin searching for Newt. As she closes in on Newt's signal, Ripley shows some ingenuity and leaves behind small flares to let her know which way to go back. She then hears Newt screaming, so she runs towards the sound and arrives right before a facehugger attacks. After grabbing Newt and running away, the pair stumbles into a field of facehugger eggs before looking around and seeing a massive xenomorph variant laying more of them. A queen xenomorph! Understanding the situation, Ripley displays some respect for the alien's intelligence by threatening to burn its eggs so the queen or her drones won't attack her and Newt. Fortunately, the Queen can understand the concept of threats as well as cause and effect, so she calls off her minions and allows Ripley and Newt to back away. When they make it to the end though, Ripley displays some treachery as she burns the eggs anyway, and then decides to set the entire place on fire, killing any alien that tries to approach her. Man, that's cruel. You gave her your word. Ripley then carries Newt back to the elevator that, of course, takes forever to come back down. Just as they finally get on though, they see the alien queen still alive and closing in on them. Luckily, however, they manage to escape before the queen can reach them. Yes! Unfortunately though, no! When they get to the top, they don't see their getaway vehicle and Ripley curses Bishop for leaving them behind.
God damn you!
What an asshole. The alien queen then reveals her technological aptitude by somehow following Ripley and Newt on another elevator, but just before she can avenge her children, Bishop flies in, allowing Ripley and Newt to hop on and barely escape the queen, and showing off his flying ability, Bishop rushes out of the area right before the reactor explodes. What a hero! A bit later, the group lands inside the ship above the atmosphere, but when they go to get a stretcher for Hicks, who's high as hell from some painkillers, Bishop reveals his lactose intolerance and starts regurgitating breast milk as the alien queen bursts through his chest and rips him in half. Ripley then distracts the queen as Newt runs away and hides. The queen though soon turns her attention away from Ripley and towards Newt, who manages to evade the queen's grapple attacks just long enough for Ripley to activate a nearby mech suit and unleash one of the most iconic lines in movie history.
Get away from her, you bitch!
Ha ha ha! Showing off her own technological aptitude, Ripley uses the machine meant for moving crates to make craters in an alien's face, and despite the machine's slow-ass movement speed, she manages to tackle the queen into an airlock. When she opens it though, the queen stays inside by hanging onto Ripley, who demonstrates great resolve by holding onto the ladder long enough for the queen to lose her grip and fall into space. Ripley then musters the strength to climb back out and close the airlock, hugging Newt after having finally rid themselves of xenomorphs. The crew then goes back into cryosleep, happily ever after. I'm sure absolutely nothing can go wrong now. Time to rank. First off, we have Hicks. Though he ended up out of commission for the climax of the film, he managed to demonstrate some valuable traits before then. As a soldier who became a corporal after the death of his commander, Hicks's knowledge of and skill with various weapons would prove useful in a number of action horror movies. His leadership and ability to stay composed under pressure make him a viable survivor, leaving the catatonic corporal who clocked out of the climax in 8. Finally, we have the ever iconic Ellen Ripley. Clearly making a push for the best survivor skill performance, Ripley performs well in a variety of areas and easily surpasses her previous outing in Alien. Her strong resolve, preparation, and ingenuity give her performances a high floor across horror's various genres. She also demonstrates valuable adaptability, a quality that could benefit her in more complex or unknown situations, clearly shown when Hicks teaches her how to use a gun, ultimately enabling her to infiltrate a xenomorph stronghold and save Newt. Overall, Ripley's versatility and ability to improve her own stats leave the passionate parent with a penchant for protectiveness in S tier. But that's it. The average ranking for this cast was B tier. Pretty good collection of characters. Listen man, Aliens is an amazing movie with very little to criticize. Its blend of action and horror, along with the great emotional core of Ripley and Newt, make it one of my favorite films. Truly unforgettable. Thanks for watching.